Good morning, Pioneers. Today is Friday, January 24th. My name is Reagan Comerford.
And my name is Ryan Hopkins, and this is your Orange Juice.
Looking for the perfect date night, pasta, jazz, and romance? Join our jazz ensemble in Starstruck for the Valentine's Jazz Concert and dinner on February 12th, 2025. And all proceeds support the performing arts here at OOHS through Pop Arts. Tickets can be purchased online. Look for posters around the school that have a QR code to purchase the tickets. The link is also posted on Schoology.
Buy your 2025 yearbook by next Tuesday, January 28th to save $5. The price of the yearbook will increase to $65 at midnight on January 28th. Go to yearbookforever.com to buy yours. Seniors, celebrate your senior year by purchasing a senior ad in the 2025 yearbook. You and/or your parents can submit a baby photo, senior photo, and a heartfelt message that commemorates your time in school. All senior ads will be purchased online at yearbookforever.com. The deadline for submission is Thursday, February 27th, or until space runs out. We only have 3 more pages left to fill with ads. Contact Mrs. Phillips with questions.
Attention, sophomores. Are you fun, innovative, hardworking, and have an entrepreneurial spirit? The Marketing and DECA program may be for you. For more information, talk to your counselor, Mrs. Kellenbach, room 2006 and Fort Orange Pioneer Peak School Store, or a current marketing/DECA junior or senior. You can also visit our blog, olentangy.entrepreneur.org, or Instagram at olentangy.entrepreneurs for a closer look. Sign up for Marketing Year 1 and DECA marketing applications with your scheduling and complete the marketing application today.
Sophomore Class Cabinet is hosting a donation drive from January 13th through the 31st to support local wildlife animals at Ohio Wildlife Center, an organization dedicated to fostering awareness and appreciation of Ohio's native wildlife through rehabilitation, education, and wildlife health studies.
They are accepting items such as Dawn dish soap, dish sponges, and Scotch tape. The completed list can be found on posters throughout the hallway or on the @OOHS Class Cabinet 2027 Instagram page. A $15 Starbucks gift card will be awarded to the student with the most items. Be sure to attach your full name and grade on each item for service hours. Now here's Kylie with a look into MLK Day.
Hey Pioneers, in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I decided to take a deeper dive into his life and the legacy he led. Let's take a look. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on the 15th of January 1929 to Martin Luther King Sr. and Alberta Williams King. King grew up in Atlanta, Georgia amidst the Jim Crow era and was one of millions who faced senseless racism. King was extremely intelligent. Attending Booker T. Washington High School, it is said he skipped both the 9th and 11th grade. In 1944, at just age 15, King was admitted into Morehouse College, a historic black university. A decade later, King was ordained as pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church of Atlanta. Around this time, recurring issues pertaining to segregation, specifically on public transportation, prompted King to execute boycotts in hopes of making a change. King decided to begin peaceful protests around the country in order to help African Americans gain their civil rights. Beginning in the 1960s, King began holding marches in Alabama, which was one of the most segregated states in the country. King, along with local leaders, called on the African American youth to help bring change by participating in these protests. On August 28, 1963, King led the historic March on Washington and gave his famous I Have a Dream speech in front of the Lincoln Memorial.
I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
That next year, in 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act, which abolished segregation, called for the integration of schools, and outlawed employment discrimination. King would go on to win the Nobel Peace Prize for his immaculate work in the fight to end racial discrimination. Sadly, on April 4th, 1968, while on a mission trip in Memphis, Tennessee, King was assassinated on a balcony of the Lorraine Motel. King was just 39 years old. 4 days following his death, Martin Luther King Jr. Day was introduced, but it would take 15 years for the holiday to be ratified by the federal government. On November 8, 1983, the King Holiday Bill was signed into law by then-President Ronald Reagan. Nearly 57 years following King's death, we remember to take time
the
to
blood
honor
drive
his
is still
steadfast
happening
work
in the
civil rights
auction
movement,
today.
which helped to gain
Students
equal
will-
rights for African Americans. His legacy continues to inspire others to strive in today's fight for racial justice. That's all for me. Now back to the desk.
Cameron, the blood drive is still happening today in the auction. Students will receive 2 service hours for donating. Those 17 and older do not need a parent to sign the form. Please refer to the American Red Cross website for more details on the qualifications to donate. Anyone interested in volunteering should contact Mrs. Hosgood on Schoology ASAP.
Mia, let's hear about our male and female athletes of the week.
The male athlete of the week is senior Keegan Nubb of boys basketball. Keegan has put up a total of 152 points this season for the boys. During the challenge versus Liberty, he put 15 points on the board to help lead the boys to a Pioneer victory. The female athlete of the week is sophomore Ava Baccio of girls basketball. Ava had 17 points all in the second half to try and climb the team back versus Berlin. At the challenge, Ava had 2 crucial 3-pointers to bring the girls back versus Liberty, and then 8 points in total. Now Kellen takes a look at the NFL playoffs.
Good morning, Pioneers. Today we're taking a closer look in the NFL playoffs.
The NFL playoffs started on January 11th and finished with the Super Bowl on February 9th. The NFL playoffs consist of 14 teams, 7 from the AFC and 7 from the NFC. The highest seeded from the AFC and the highest seed from the NFC will receive a bye and automatic home field advantage throughout the playoffs. In the first round, the 5th-seeded LA Chargers rolled into Houston hoping to pull off an upset. After a slow start, CJ finally got things going for the Texans and won 32-12. Next up in the AFC, the Steelers and the Ravens squared off for the 3rd time this year. The Ravens had a full control most of the game, and Derrick Henry had a huge game, and they won 28-14. Finally, in the AFC wildcard matchup was the Buffalo Bills hosting the Denver Broncos and the hotshot rookie Bo Nix. The Broncos jumped out to a 7-0 lead, but it was all Buffalo from there as they went on to win 31-7. Now moving on to the divisional round. On the AFC side, the Kansas City Chiefs looked to defend their Super Bowl title as they hosted C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. Some big stories to watch heading into this game will be the Chiefs that are looking to become the first team to three-peat, while the Texans will be hoping CJ can find some of his magic from last year and pull off the big upset on the road. Next off, Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens face off against Josh Allen and the Bills in a very important AFC divisional round matchup.
That's all for today, Pioneers. Now back to the news desk.
Hey Pioneers, lots coming this weekend, so let's get right to it. Both boys and girls basketball play tonight against Hilliard-Davidson. The girls host at 7:30 for their senior night, while the boys travel to Hilliard, also with a tip-off at 7:30. Both games are OCC matchups. Hockey has a busy weekend, playing Jerome at the Chiller at 7:30 tonight, then is back on the ice Sunday against Bishop Watterson at the Fairgrounds. The puck drops Sunday at 3:10 p.m. Tonight, girls wrestling heads to Massillon Perry to take on the number 6 ranked Panthers in a dual meet. They will stay up north for Saturday and compete in Northwest High School's Fear the Spirit Invitational. Boys wrestling heads to the Watkins Memorial Invitational on Saturday with a start time of 10 a.m. Gymnastics finishes out of our slate with a 2 p.m. Saturday meet at Findlay High School. That's all for sports. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Mia. That's all for today, Pioneers. Make sure to tune into all of our socials at OOHS Juice and tune into our live radio station, WPLP The Pulp. For The Juice, I'm Reagan Comerford.
And I'm Ryan Hopkins. Remember to stay juicy, Pioneers, and please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.